Hey, hello everyone, and welcome back to our D365 ERP channel. So in this new episode, we'll discuss about the consignment warehouse process in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation. So in this episode, we first discuss about the business process, like what is the consignment warehouse, in which scenario we will utilize this consignment warehouse, and then after this we will see the demo in D365 Finance and Operation, how we can utilize this consignment warehouse process within the D365 F&O system. So let's first start with the business process. So what is the consignment warehouse? First we'll see what is the consignment warehouse process, and then we'll discuss about the what is consignment warehouse. So the consignment warehouse process is the business arrangement between the company or organization and with their supplier. So where our supplier is storing their inventory stock within the company's or organization's warehouse location, physical warehouse location. So this warehouse location called as a consignment warehouse location. So let's say we have the supplier ABC, which is storing our stock within the USMF company's consignment warehouse. So in this scenario, we'll call this whole process as a consignment warehouse process. So here the advantage of this consignment warehouse is organization has the access of the inventory of the supplier or vendor. So the organization not paying any money upfront, or he won't doing any payment for the inventory received upfront until he sells that particular inventory to the end customer. This whole process called it as a consignment warehouse process. So here's the win-win situation for the both parties. First, organization will get the free access to the inventory which is not paying any upfront money, and at the same time vendor reducing their holding cost, because the physically he is not storing any stock in their own physical location. It's all stored on the organization location. So he's storing all the stock physical location of the retailer. So he'll reducing the inventory holding cost. So here we have completed the business process of the consignment warehouse process. So in the next step we'll see how we'll do this whole process in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation system. So before moving to the demo part, first we have some prerequisites setup to complete in Microsoft Dynamics 365. So let's first discuss the setups, prerequisite setup, and then we'll quickly jump into the demo. So our first prerequisite is creating a release product with the enable owner tracking dimension. I'll show you that the whole process in the system, how we can create a new product with the tracking dimension owner. Next important setup is, of course, choose the vendor who is acting as a consignment vendor, like who is supplying a consignment stock to us. And the last, we need to set up the inventory ownership within the system. So once we done all these three setup, we'll perform the consignment warehouse demo. So let's move to the system and first complete the prerequisite for this consignment warehouse process. So our first prerequisite is creating a new release product within the owner tracking dimensions. So for this, we check the tracking dimension is created in the system or not, because I am using the Microsoft data. So most usually the tracking dimension is already created, but if you are using the new system where the tracking dimension owner is not created, I'll show you the path how you can create that tracking dimension within the system. So for this, we navigate to the product information management parameter, collapse all. Inside the setup, we have dimension and variant group. Here we have the option of tracking dimension groups. So here you can see that, as I said, it's already created in the Microsoft data. In your case, you can directly click on this new button. If this dimension is not created, you just click on this new option and enter their name, description, and make sure this owner option is active. Owner parameter is active in your new tracking dimension, and the physically inventory and the financial inventory is also active. So here we have done with the tracking dimension group. Let's assign this new tracking dimension group. Let's assign this tracking dimension group to the new release product. So for this, we again navigate to the tracking time product information management module. So if you are beginner and if you are not aware about how to create a product or what is tracking dimension, so you can check out our previous episode in the product information management module. I have already create multiple videos on this. You can also check out that, or I'll add the videos in the I button. So next we navigate to the release products section. Inside the product, release products, so here we'll create a new release product. So for this example, I enter the product number as a 9, enter the product name, can just enter the wheels, in the retail category I just select retail category, any retail category. Next important part is the item order group. So whenever you are using the item for the consignment warehouse process, you need to make sure that you select the moving average as an item order group. If you are instead of selecting the moving average, if you are select any other option, system will give you an error. So here I'm selecting the item order group as a moving average. Item group is any, it's not an big things. In the storage dimension I'm selecting the site and warehouse, and the last important part is the tracking dimension group. So in that scenario we are using this item for the consignment warehouse, so I am selecting this tracking dimension group is a owner. The last is, let's select the inventory units quickly. Okay, and I'm not entering the price over here. For this we'll create a new trade agreement. So let's click on OK. Our new release product is created now. So here we have created a new release product wheels for this consignment warehouse process, and we have selected the tracking dimension group as a owner. So next part is creating the trade agreement, purchase trade agreement for this new item. But before creating the new purchase trade agreement, we need to select the vendor for which vendor we are use particularly use for this consignment warehouse process. So I just duplicate this tab, again go to the procurement and sourcing module. Here in the vendor section I select the all vendor option. So for this demonstration I'll choose the first vendor. So I just copy this vendor account, go to the release product. Inside the purchase tab we have that option to create a trade agreement. So I just click on this create trade agreement, click on this new. Here I select the price adjustment, click on these lines. In the account selection, first we'll select the vendor. In the account selection I just paste this. In the item relation we'll select our new item which we created for this consignment warehouse process, and the last is in the amount in currency we'll enter the amount. So here we have completed our trade agreement. So even if you're not aware about how to create a trade agreement and what is the trade agreement, then you can also check out my previous episode where I detail explain about the trade agreements from for purchase price, sales price, discount journals, and all this process. So you can just check out that videos. I'm not explaining this over here. Just post this journal. So we have posted a journal. Now just let's go back to our item and quickly validate if we have missed anything. No. So we have completed our first prerequisite, creating the new item with the tracking dimension of owner, and we have also completed our second prerequisite is selecting the vendor. So we have selected this 1001 vendor for this consignment warehouse process. And the last thing is we need to set up the inventory ownership. So for this we have just close again, go back to inventory management module inside. Let me first see the inventory management module. Yeah, so here's the inventory management module. Let's collapse this all. Inside inventory management, inquiries and reports, tracking dimension, and the inventory owners. So here we have that inventory owner option. So here you can see that two owners is already added, but our new vendor is not there, which we use for the consignment warehouse. And the third, our company ownership is already created. If it's not there in your system, just simply click on the new and select your current legal entity under which you are using this consignment warehouse process. So here I'm just creating a new ownership of or for our vendor. So just again copy this vendor account and paste it over here. Yeah, so that's it for this prerequisite. We have completed all three prerequisite. Create a new item with the ownership tracking dimension, select the vendor, and assign the ownership for this vendor. So let's start with our demonstration for this full consignment warehouse process. So now let's start into the consignment process in Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. So which means that we receive first consignment inventory from our vendor to our consignment warehouse location. So for this we navigate to the procurement and sourcing module. So under this we have the section of consignment. So we'll first choose the consignment replenishment order. So we create first replenishment order to receive the stock from the vendor location to our consignment warehouse location. So for this we click on this consignment replenishment orders. So let's first create a new replenishment order. So here just simply select the vendor which we are going to use for this consignment warehouse process, and that's it. Just click on save. Here we also have that option to select site and warehouse. If you are not selecting the site and warehouse at the time of creation, then you can directly select this site or location inside the line level. So I am just selecting over here. So for this demonstration I am selecting this warehouse 12 for this consignment warehouse, but you can directly select your consignment warehouse. So now I'm considering this 12 warehouse as my consignment warehouse, but in your scenario you can create a new warehouse as a consignment warehouse in the system and directly receive that stock in your consignment warehouse. So we just click on this OK option. So our new consignment replenishment order is created. Now we'll add the line item in that order. So we click on this add line option and select our new item which we have just created. Not this one. Okay. And the item name is selected. Next is step is select the quantity which we're going to receive at our consignment warehouse process and just save this option. So here our new consignment order is created. So when vendors ship their stock from their location and we receive our stock in the at the time of consignment in the consignment warehouse location, so at the time we'll do the product receipt. So for product receipt we click on this product receipt option. Here we also have that option to internal external product receipt. So here we have enter the reference number which is sent by the vendor on the delivery note. For this demonstration select the any random number. The next step is we'll select the quantity. If vendor sent only 50 quantity in the first lot, you can change the quantity over here. So I have received the 100 quantity, so I am assuming this 100 quantity is received in the first shipment. So I just click on this OK. So our product receipt is done. So in the next step I'll show you the on hand inventory of this item now. So for this I just copy the item number Again go back to our duplicate tab. Inside the module, again go to our product information management module, release products, filter our product. In the manage inventory section, we have that option of on hand inventory. So here you can see that our new product wheels. First we'll add the site warehouse and the is the option of owner. Yeah, so in the tracking dimension you have that option of owner, so I selected that option, save this setup and click on OK. So here you can see that under our new wheel item, under site warehouse 12, which we are assuming as our consignment warehouse, 100 item is received, but you can see that in the ownership section it's still showing the ownership as a vendor, because it's still we have not paid any amount upfront and it's still under the ownership of our vendor. Even it's physically located all the stock in our inventory, it's still owned by the vendor, not our organization. So this stock of 100 is not part of the inventory cost calculation or moving cost calculation of our organization, because it's owned by the vendor. So in this process we will see how a consignment replenishment order is created and how we receive the stock. So in the next step, our organization USMF legal entity find the customer who is ready to buy the 60 item of that wheel. So now here our USMF company is decided to consume that stock which is there in our consignment warehouse. So to first consume this stock, first I need to transfer this ownership from our vendor to the USMF legal entity, because now I had decided to consume that and sell it to our new customer, sell it to our customer. So for this ownership change from vendor name to the organization name, we have that one journal which we need to post. So to see this process, we again go back to our procurement and sourcing module, collapse all, inside the consignment warehouse. So first we'll use this consignment replenishment order for create order and receive the stock inside our consignment warehouse process. So the next option is inventory ownership change, so we'll select this inventory ownership change. So here first we need to create a journal. So as I said, I am using the Microsoft data, so the journal is already created. But if you are new to the system or beginner to the system and don't know how to create a journal, I'll show you the full path how you can create the journal. So to create a journal, again we go back to our duplicate tab, inventory management section, uh, collapse all, inside setups we have that option of journal names and we select the inventory journals. So here you can see that inventory ownership change journal is already created in a Microsoft data, but if in your scenario it's not created, just click on this new option, enter the name, enter the description, and make sure you select the journal type as a ownership change. If you are not selected this type, system not allow you to create or change the inventory journal. So we selected this, and voucher series system automatically created the number sequence for this journal. So so important part is just select this ownership change. So we again go back to our inventory ownership journal. So here we have creating the, so here I'm creating the new journal, selected the journal names. So I'm talking about this, if you are new or beginner to the system, or if you are not using the consignment warehouse process uh, before, so you will see the blank option over here. So you need to create a new journal, and then only this option is enabled for you. So I just select this option, click on OK. So our new journal is created, header is there. Inside the line section we need to add the line for which item will change the ownership from vendor to our USMF company. So for this I just click on this new option, inventory journal. I selected our new item. This is our new item. So in the next step we'll select the from site to site. So I'm not selecting that because my consignment warehouse, I want to consume this stock from the consignment warehouse only. If you are in your scenario, if your consignment warehouse in another location and you want to consume this stock for sales or for sales order or some other operation, you can transfer that stock within from this journal from your consignment warehouse to your sales warehouse. So in that scenario I am not change this stock. So I'm selecting the from warehouse and to warehouse is same. So in my scenario the from warehouse and to warehouse is same. From in ownership I'm selecting the vendor from which we have changed the ownership. So I'm select the vendor, and in the to section system automatically assign the USMF legal entity. And here last, in the second last column, we have that option to select the quantity. So in my scenario only 60 quantity I want to consume for this to sell to the customer, so I'm just selecting the 60. If in your scenario if you want to consume this stock, you can fully consume this stock. Usually we have preferred to not consume the stock which is not required to consume, because the anyhow the inventory comes into your ownership, you are the then this inventory is a part of all the inventory calculations or cost calculation or moving cost calculation. So here I'm just selecting the 60 quantity. In the line details we need to change, just save this option and post this journal. So we have received this error. How to resolve this? For resolve this I need to set up the inventory posting account. For this we navigate to the inventory management, collapse all setups. Under the posting section we have that posting option. So for this system giving me error that transaction type cost of purchase material received an item. So for this I need to go to purchase order section, cost of purchase material received. So here you can see that our new item relation is not there, so I just create a new and set the main account as a raw material inventory. If you are not aware about the posting, and if you are beginner and not aware how to set up the posting and what is this posting, you can just check out my channel. I have already published one more detailed videos about this posting. So we again navigate to the inventory change, close this all error. Now we'll post this journal again. Yeah, so our new journal is posted. You can see that our successfully posted journal and our new purchase order has been successfully created. So once you post this inventory ownership change journal, it's indirectly you are consuming the vendor stock, or you are changing the ownership, which means that you are procuring the stock from our vendor. So system automatically create a new purchase order for this particular item within the with the quantity which we have selected under this journal. So let me copy this purchase order number and I'll show you the purchase order which is automatically created by the system. So for this we navigate to the procurement and sourcing section. It's collapse all under the purchase order, all purchase order. Filter with the purchase order number. Yeah, so you can see that our new purchase order is created with the vendor which we have selected under the consignment warehouse process. Let's open this purchase order, and here you can see that the quantity is also 60 and the status you can see that it's already received. So why it's already received? Because we have already received that whole stock from the vendor location to the our location at the time of creating the replenishment order. So system automatically create an order and automatically change the status of that order to received. So let me show you the on an inventory of the item now, because previously the whole ownership is on the vendor level. So we'll again navigate to the product information management, release products, select our item, inventory management, on an inventory. So here you can see that the new entry is created and for the 60 item, and you can see that the new ownership is assigned to the USMF legal entity, because we have received the stock in our warehouse with the ownership change. So now we can consume this stock for our sales order or any other processes. So this is all consignment warehouse process. So here first we completed our pre which we have created new item with the created a new item with the tracking dimension ownership. Select the vendor. Third option is assign the ownership to the vendor. Then we'll create a replenishment order to receive the stock from the vendor location to our consignment warehouse location. And once we have that requirement to consume this stock inside the consignment warehouse, then we'll create a inventory ownership journal. And with this inventory ownership journal, system automatically created a purchase order to that particular vendor with the status of received. So this is whole process of the consignment warehouse within the D365 finance and operation. Hope you understand whole the consignment warehouse process. If you still have any question, you can ask me in the comment section. And make sure you subscribe to my channel for the future videos, and hit that bell button to get the notification about our new future videos. So thank you for watching.